Sorry about that.
No problem.
One more time.
Okay. Now, because the thing is, you criticized my argument because the guy said I could be wrong about everything I claim to know. So now you're assuming that person. I agree it's not your position. Fine. It's an absurd position.
But I'm not claiming his position is valid, by the way.
No, it's absurd. It was absurd. We both realize it's absurd. It's an absurd claim to say I could be wrong about everything I claim to know. But you criticize my critique. Because if you say you could be wrong about everything, it follows that you know nothing.
No, it doesn't.
Okay, well then that's fine. You assume that position and tell me how you can know anything.
If I assume that position?
Right.
Okay, if you could be wrong doesn't mean you are wrong.
Exactly, but it doesn't mean
if you're right, that means you're correct and you know it.
Okay, let's say that I know that the President of the United States, his initials are B.O.
Okay.
And you say to me, what's the name of the President? And I say Barry Owens.
Right.
Did I know that his initials were B.O.? That the initials of the President of the United States was B.O. Did I know that?
By your definition, yes.
No, because it was false. Because I thought it was Barry Owens. It was a lucky guess.
You said you knew his initials were B.O. You didn't say you knew his name was Barry Owens.
Because I thought that the President's name was Barry Owens.
But you didn't claim to know his name. You claimed to know his initials.
No, but the thing is, and you say, well, what's the name of the President? I say Barry Owens. That's why I know that his initials are B.O. Because his name is Barry Owens.
Well, that's a different argument.
Pardon me?
That's a different argument than what you just said.
No, what I'm saying, it's true. It's true that it's B.O., but it doesn't mean that I knew it. Because it wasn't justified.
Well, you said you knew it. I'm just going by what you're telling me.
Okay, if somebody says that they know something, does it necessarily follow that they know it?
Absolutely not.
Because it must be true.
Well, yes.
Okay, so if the person says he can be wrong about everything he claims to know,
right?
How can he know something to be true?
Because he could be wrong.
Right.
Okay, all right, here, let me fix this. If he says he is wrong about everything he claims to know, then he couldn't know anything.
Okay, well, let's do it one more time then. You assume that person who says they can be wrong about everything I claim to know. Tell me what you know. Tell me what you know and how you know it.
So I'm assuming my own position, not this other person's position?
Right. You're assuming the other person's position.
So what do I know?
Yeah, how do you know anything?
How do I know anything, or what do I know?
What do you know and how do you know it?
I know my existence and I know my thoughts. Okay. Absolutely.
Okay, but the problem is you've admitted that you could be wrong about everything, so you could be wrong about your existence and you could be wrong about your thoughts, correct?
Well, actually, let me add on a few more things. Based on your definition of justified true belief, I probably know the world exists. I live on a planet Earth. I'm in the United States. I'm a male. I'm 29 years old. Those are justified claims based on the evidence.
However, when you say you could be wrong about everything you claim to know, you could be wrong about all of those things too, correct?
I could be. Not all of them. I can't be wrong about my existence. It's impossible.
But the thing is, now you're not assuming that position anymore. This person says he could be wrong about everything he claims to know.
Oh, I thought I was assuming my position.
Okay. You're assuming this person's position who, on that show that I was on, said he could be wrong about everything he claims to know. You're assuming his position. Now you're saying that there are things that you know that you can't be wrong about. Now you're not assuming that position anymore.
Oh, no, I said that. Before I said that, I said, okay, well, I'm not using his position anymore. I'm using my own position.
Okay, well, stick with his position because your critique was of my argument against him.
I apologize. I thought we were moving on to my own position, but we can stick with his. Well,
the thing is, your critique was against my argument against him.
I thought when you were asking the question just now, you're asking about my position, so I misunderstood you.
Okay, so this person says he can be wrong about everything he claims to know, correct? Now explain to me,
that's what he said.
Assuming that position, what you know and how you know it.
What does he know?
Yes, and how do you know it? Assuming that position.
I don't know what he knows.
Well, the thing is, assume that position.
I can't jump into his head. I have no idea what he knows.
How can he know anything when he could be wrong about everything?
Because okay, you're saying he could be wrong. You didn't say he is wrong.
Admitted.
Are you saying he is wrong about everything?
No, but he admitted that he could be.
But he's not wrong about everything, right?
He admitted that he could be wrong about everything.
I understand that, but are you saying he is wrong about everything?
No, I'm not.
All right, so the things he's not wrong about, he knows.
Okay, assume that position then.
Okay.
If you could be wrong about everything you claim to know,
Right.
explain to me how you know anything.
Because there's things I'm not wrong about.
How do you know? But you're just contradicting yourself, because you just said you could be wrong about everything when you're assuming that position. You're saying you
I could be wrong.
Pardon?
I could be wrong.
Okay, so tell me, assuming that position, what do you know and how do you know it?
What do I know?
And how do you know it?
Okay, assuming that position, I don't know how you could explain how you know it.
Well, the thing is, when I said, if you say you could be wrong about everything, you've given up knowledge. And now you're saying that you don't know how you can know anything, according to that position.
I said, I'm arguing a hypothetical position that is not my position. So you can't critique me. I did critique your critique of it.
But you're not doing very well.
I'm doing very well. What? You are changing terms. And I'm commenting on it, and then you want to
person, could you be wrong about everything you claim to know? He said yes.
He could be.
Okay, so now, according to that position, tell me how he can know anything.
You are claiming he knows things.
According to that position where a person says he could be wrong about everything he claims to know, according to that position, explain to me how they can know anything.
Because they're not claiming absolute knowledge. So the things they can claim, they can still claim to know things, right?
They can claim to know things, but that's not my question. My question is, how can they know anything when they could be wrong about everything?
Because they're justified and it's true. If they have justification and it's true, then they know it. If they don't have justification and it's not true, then I guess they don't know it.
How can you be justified if you can't know it to be true?
You couldn't. Wait, who said they couldn't know it to be true?
Not if they could be wrong about everything they claim to know.
No, well, you said they couldn't justify things to be true, right? Why can't they justify things to be true?
Because they have admitted that they could be wrong about everything they claim to know.
Yeah, they can't justify everything, but why can't they justify something?
If they can be wrong about everything.
Why can't they can't justify anything?
That's right, not if they can be wrong about everything.
Why can't they justify anything?
Give me an example of how you can justify one thing if you could be wrong about it.
No, I'm asking you a question. Why can't they justify anything?
Because you could be wrong about it.
They could be right about it, too.
But if you could be wrong about it, you can't justify it. Because you can't know it to be true. You can't know something to be true which could be false.
No, you said they can't know everything to be true. They can know some things to be true.
Give me an example of something you know to be true which might be false.
Well, that's a paradox.
It's not a paradox. That's the problem with that position.
That is a paradox. You can't know something to be true that is false.
That might be false.
That might be false?
Yes.
The Earth goes around the sun.
So you can know that to be true.
Yeah.
But it might be false.
I can claim to know it's true.
That's not my question.
Okay, if I know it, by definition, it is true, using your terminology.
All right, this is going nowhere. I appreciate your time. You might want to study epistemology a little bit so that you can see the problems you're running into, because the thing is, this is a very simple... The reason you reject that position is because of an absurd position.
What position?
If you're wrong about everything you claim to know means you have given up knowledge. Now, I don't want to embarrass you any further, but I would encourage you to look into that. And once you see...
Can I ask you a question?
What's that?
Can I ask you a question?
Certainly.